And it's going to get even tougher now because we're going to move on to gold for our second and final match of the cast. It's going to be Beanie versus Hoffnung, and I think we have the picks and bans for that as well. Do you have those in front of you?
I do. So it looks like Hoffnung banned Veranda venue we were just watching does not want that amount of chaos, I guess. Beanie similarly bans Library, so neither of them really liking the 5 of X venues.
Fair enough.
Restrict from Redwoods by Hoffnung, that's a pretty popular restricted ban among players. And Beanie restricting nothing, so maybe, not wanting to give anything away on that. Um, Quite interesting on the picks though. Hopped doubling pub. That
Ooh.
is a very uncommon double, and I think that might be kind of due to like the new age player where there's some sort of like etiquette or pathing things where they feel like they're going to hold an edge against maybe a more old school player like Beanie. And Beanie kind of sticking to the tried and true ballroom, saying, you know what, I'm just gonna do a lot of missions. Good luck, good luck spotting me. Um, and singles, well, back to good old courtyard and gallery, so nothing too out of the ordinary on those.
The rare dub pub. We do not see it much. I think your guess about pathing might be good. Whether it's right or not, just strategically, it's interesting to think about how that conflicts with what I said earlier. I mentioned, that you want to win your double, right? If you split it, you've given away some slight advantage. It's as if you did not have a double, right? I will say there is one exception. If you have some good pathing tech and you're convinced that your floor is 2 wins because you're pretty sure you're going to win both sniper games, that's a little different, right? If there's very little risk that you're going to lose more, if you think I'm going to at least split and there's a chance I can pull out one on the other end, then I can understand a little better. Insofar as I can understand doubling pub in any context, which is to say, I probably still can't. But maybe Beanie, Hoffnung, maybe one of them will show me the light. It's going to be Beanie spying first here. Playing a Seek. This is pub any 3 of 7. I did wonder when it was doubled whether or not this was going to be some variant in SCL8 that I was unaware of. I know people have played with pub a lot, tried to make it competitively viable in one direction or another, and while I'm not sure we've entirely succeeded, this seems to have been the closest we've come to with a little extra time compared to the old venues. So it's going to be 3 minutes, 3 of 7, game one here in this gold match in 3, 2, 1, playing it. How do you feel about pub broadly?
Pub is a very interesting venue, and for the newer players, the thing that really stands out about Pub is you just go to one statue and you have an entire mission, maybe even two if you want to swap while you're over there. Um, you can get missions super fast, but like the downside is the clock. Like this clock just sneaks up on you so fast, and before you know it, you're just out of time. Like it's very hard to get flirt done and contact done within only a few minutes. Um, so that is maybe the one thing I don't like about pub is it feels very difficult to pace out.
Well, it is a bit of a trick, right? Because on one hand, it doesn't look very big, but it's basically gallery scrunched up. If you actually stretched it out like the human intestine, you would see how very long it actually is. It is not a small venue, and not just that, it has a lot of dead ends. The conversation we're in right now with our seduction target, this is working out fine. We've hit a green test. It's 51%. But if you chase someone out there, be it an ambassador or your seduction target, and they go somewhere else, there's really no way for you to play it off and turn around. You're kind of just stuck there for a while. It's really no man's land.
Yeah, absolutely. You definitely need your ST and your DA to play nice. I've seen like entire rounds of pub where the DA just never gets a conversation, and it is just it's so infuriating for the spy players. Beanie though, one thing that will work out in his favor here, I'm sure maybe this gets oversaid to a point, but Beanie is known as a green test monster. So he is already showing like, yeah, I can hit these greens, and that goes
Here it
such a
comes.
long way when you
Here
only
it
need to two
comes.
flirt.
And they do. Yeah, so we talk about this a lot. Timer flirts on slow time venue on short time venues, not always great. But if you hit an early green and they're not starting to move, it's very tempting to just stay and give yourself the chance to two flirt. In this case, it pays off. We do the fake after that. It's a pretty darn good fake though too. There are several low lights already. We only have 1 minute left, but also the seduce seems completely clean.
Yeah, and I think that only let off one additional low light, and it gave so many people contact credit. Unfortunately, we were in with the SDA,
Is
so
this going to be inspect swap here?
actually,
No. Oh, fingerprintable briefcase, and I believe the ambassador went to statues, so we could fingerprint into inspect into finish, but there'll be very little time left. And more than that, even though we don't have contact, it's not actually a silent game. so I don't know if this is going to work quite as well. Let's see. We're actually going to go in for the real contact, perhaps? No, we're going to go to Windows. This is interesting. It's like a silent game because we don't have contact, but it doesn't actually sound like a silent game, so it might still prompt the shot.
Yeah, and I'm a little scared for Beanie right now.
Yeah, same.
Because one thing I know about Hoffnung is he is an etiquette sniper. He knows all the etiquette. We got highlight for that briefcase. Hoffnung clearly saw something he didn't like, so we're being stared at hard right now.
There it is. I think that's a much more interesting play without the fake. Without the fake, there is no contact that's gone off, and you're shooting just for the soft tells and the silent soft tells. I don't know if that works either, but I think it works a lot better. I think the fake kind of ruined the game plan there a little bit.
Yeah, a little unlucky. I love the finish, the print and inspect finish. Probably the best chance you really have of getting a win there. Um, but yeah, just unlucky, and I wonder how that would have shaped out if the SDA wasn't in with us. Maybe we wouldn't like be getting watched as closely as we were. But yeah, I mean, nonetheless, Hoffnung did what he needed to do, found the shot, and 1-0 start for him on his double.
Well, so far so good. Let's see if it continues. Playing as green dress now. Still on pub, still 3-7. No missions, no mission variants. It's not like the old high rise where you get to pick what you're gonna turn off or on. All of it's on. That's our attempt at balancing pub. We'll see if it works. In 3, 2, 1, playing it. Yeah, pub just a different animal. I have to. There's just no other venue or setup right now competitively that feels the same to me as this.
Yeah, I strongly agree with that. It just, yeah, it just has that odd feel to it. It's kind of one of those venues where I almost want to ban it, but it doesn't feel like it's worth a ban, if that makes any sense.
Right,
Um,
because you're probably going to split. Unless someone makes a mistake or gets really good party luck, you're probably going to split.
yeah, but like as soon as someone picks pub, I instantly feel uncomfortable because I
Ooh.
feel like, okay, they know something that I don't know, and yeah, lots of lowlights. What could that be
Speaking of
before?
something we don't know, it really seems like we're using lowlights to track something here.
This is very interesting. And coming
I mean,
from,
listen, there are a lot of different light strategies. When in the very early days of the beta, there were 2 low light levels and 2 highlight levels, making 5 total levels. That was changed because it was found to be too easy to track things because you had 5 different states that you could use. So you could track things like, well, bar didn't exist at the time, but you could track so many distinct things as opposed to just highlight, low light, neutral. I wonder if there's a version of that. This feels like a light strategy that you might only see on pub, which further plays into what we were just talking about, where no other venue quite feels like it. Venues feel weird, different, whatever, but they feel like variations on SpyParty. This is the closest thing to feeling like another game mode entirely.
I mean, you might be right, but like, how this is narrowed down to 3, including the spy. Like, what did he like?
Is it
Did
pathing?
did something get phantomed? Like,
Yeah,
did
that
a
might
time
be.
ad? I don't know. This is,
That was my first
I
thought. Phantom Time Ad, yeah.
yeah, I would love to add. Oh, a no talk. That is
Interesting.
definitely within possibility.
There are only a few things it could be, and I think we've run through all of them.
Yeah, like rarely are there moments where I'm just kind of dumbfounded as like, what could this possibly be for? And like, I mean, Beanie, like, you know, more like kind of old school traditional sniper. Like, I don't think he saw any weird pathing stuff, but yeah, it could absolutely be a no talk. I could see that
No
being the
talk, time
case.
ad. Those are the 2 most likely culprits for sure. I don't know if we felt that highlight, but Hoffnung seems pretty committed here to not finishing unless they're gonna just rush something late. If they are gonna though, it might be right now with this bug attempt. We do. It's a bit of a twitch bug. The arm snaps back. It is visible. Beanie thinks it's visible too. We didn't have too many ways to finish at that point. At that point, you're hoping the party helps you. But if we had any sense of the highlights and lowlights, we know that wasn't going to happen. 14
Yeah,
lowlights.
nice.
Look at that. That's too many. That is entirely too many.
Yeah, well done. Okay. That's impressive, honestly. Like I feel like I don't know. I feel like to me, like no talks are kind of hard to look for unless you already have a suspect in mind. Especially kind of early on when there's a lot of things
Yeah.
to be looking at. Um, so really impressive. I mean, you know, I said Hoffnung was an etiquette sniper, but I mean, no talk or Beanie finding a no talk in the early stages of pub. Very well done from him.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It's not so much the catching the no talk, everyone does that sometimes, but catching it early in a pub game, kind of unusual. Not something you see a lot. And not just that, it's not just catching it, it's being very confident you caught it. Not just highlighting the people you suspect, but low-lighting everybody else, which is a lot more aggressive than the inverse. So it's partially, it goes back to what I was saying before about when you miss something. How confident are you that you just missed it? confidence plays into your role as sniper, not just what you catch, but how confident you are that you caught it or caught it quickly. And in this case, that confidence translates into a sniper win completely. We are all knotted up at one. Beanie continuing the craziness that is spying on pub as red dress in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Red dress famously has the most polygons, the most triangles of any character, entirely down to her hair.
That is a very interesting fact. I had no idea.
Oh, yeah, if you
And
zoom in, I mean, they're all individually. I don't even know what the word would be, but they're all individual. Swap and inspect immediately, by the way. And there was a lot of chaos on pub. We're not catching no talks. We're not even catching swaps, I don't think. So much activity, and we pounce all over it. And if this isn't caught, and caught quickly, and shot for quickly, this game's just going to be over.
yeah, I love these sort of plays. I want to call this the Nebula special because he does this like constantly on pub. The difference being is that he will surely green test the swap, but it just doesn't matter. I think
There it is.
Hoffnung wasn't looking at statues yet and
No,
wasn't
doesn't matter.
expecting his diamond opponent to be going, or I'm sorry, his gold opponent
Are
rather.
we actually? Oh my God, we almost shot for that. I was just about to say that if you are a seasoned sniper, as we clearly are here, and you see that many lowlights come off early in a pub game, something has to go off in your head that says, why on earth would my similarly experienced opponent give me this many lowlights? It doesn't add up. Something is amiss. And maybe that's when they look at the statue, and as you can see, very close to actually shooting there because the contact makes so little sense. So little sense that Beanie actually did not do it immediately upon entering either. They waited a little while here. Let me see, about 11 seconds when they entered that conversation. But it does just work out.
Yeah, that is absolutely insane that we finished with a safety off on the spy. So Hoffnung actually was aware of the statues, just hadn't gone back and done a recheck of the statues. So yeah, just catching it at the last second, and I almost wonder if like, like I don't know if this actually plays into it, but maybe a little bit of a ping difference between the two. Australia versus Spain here. I wonder if that maybe took away some valuable milliseconds, but oh man,
Well,
you have to hate that for Hoffnung, finding the right spy and not being able to find the shot in time.
so we do look at the replay there, and you see Seek approaches statues. We check, we rotate just to kind of check on the statue and to highlight Seek potentially for the inspect. And I think that's the moment they notice. At that point, there's about 5 seconds left in mission win countdown. That's when we swing back over. And I think maybe if they had 6 seconds to make the decision, they would have taken the shot. I don't know. You mentioned network latency. It does come into play sometimes. To my knowledge, there's only one competitive event that has ever turned on it. It was the quarterfinals in the 2019 Summer Cup, Dowsey versus Crazy Kaylee on balcony, I recall. And you can actually see in the log of that game, which you can download and play. And I highly recommend. One of our best casts ever, by the way. One of the best competitive matches ever, by the way. You can actually see that the shot does come off, but they fire too late for sync. So network latency, UK to California, did indeed swing the outcome of that match. I don't know about this one, but it's an interesting thing to consider, to say the least.
Absolutely. With that, let's go ahead and get into the next round.
Yeah, Hoffnung gonna spy on pub. Don't worry, everyone. We're almost done with this nonsense. Playing also as red dress. Here we go. 2-1 Beanie here. Hoffnung trying to at least stay even on this double in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Yeah, I have a very vivid memory of that particular match because I wrote an essay a little while ago called "The Greatest Matches in SpyParty History," and that was on the list.
Yeah, and that's just one of those things where I mean, just starting a match where you're down 1-2 on your own double, it can be super frustrating. Um, yeah, Hoffnung, I like matching Beanie's aggression and just going straight in for the inspect straight away. Um, I think that could be a perfectly solid strategy on pub. You do need a little help from the cast at times though, because we're gonna get this real credit now, and it's gonna give Beanie a lot of time to decide that okay, this probably is just a spy. Everyone just sitting in conversation here, and oh no, the double or the DA bails on us as we do the contact.
That's really unfortunate. It is a good contact otherwise, which will alleviate the pressure a little bit. But yeah, that is unfortunate. 3 lowlights total, two of them the twins together. That's a little bonus there, I suppose. We get a flirt off. It is a green test, at least 49%, 2 minutes left. So with the inspect already done, we're actually doing okay here, even with that DA bailing on us. If they hadn't bailed on us, though, we'd be sitting very pretty. Are they going to join again? They're still waiting for it. No, no, no. Still inside, still sipping.
Yeah, unfortunately, we get joined by a DA, but not the right one. Unfortunately, not the one we wanted. But Yeah, sometimes the cast giveth and sometimes it taketh away. At least after the DA left, we did get joined by our ST here, getting some very valuable flirt progress.
But
We
here's
will
the
need
thing:
to
we just
get.
hit a green. We need to twitch forward if we want a two flirt.
Yeah, I wonder if Hoffnung
I
would
think
be
it's
able to.
worth it. I say do it. I say do it. Look at the ambassadors vulnerable on the side. We could twitch floor. No, we're not going to do it. We're going to hit the white test anyway, so it's going to be a moot point. We are at 82% now and a minute left, and well, now things are interesting here. Now we have some choices to make. The SDA is very far away from us, unfortunately, and that's that no man's land that I mentioned too. If you go over there, you're very committed to finishing there, and I don't think you can. So I think the position of the DA means we're actually in a lot of trouble here.
Yeah, and I kind of would have loved to see that little twitch. Because I mean, sometimes you can be a little like even when you're in the front and center, you
Yes.
can be kind of invisible because that's just not where the sniper's focus actually is.
I would have tried
Going
it.
into
I
the
think it
bar,
makes. Also, you're the spy on pub. What are you risking here? You know, you're risking less than you would be on, say, ballroom or a properly normally balanced venue.
yeah, and that's that kind of way of thinking. I've noticed. It's pretty heavily favored towards like really good players, where like they just know they're gonna get shot like most of the time anyway. So why not take big risks?
Yes,
Um,
pub 3-7 competitively is a bit of a YOLO venue. If you're going to win, something weird is going to happen. There's the seduce done, 15 seconds left. But again, we're in no man's land. You can't even time ad from over here. There's nothing to do. You're just hoping and praying. I guess we could delegate, but I mean, that's very obvious because it's to a low light and we're walking away right afterwards. It's going to be pending for a while. There's the beeping. Beanie. Looks like they're all over this. Oh boy.
yeah, and I mean, I think this could be the only thing like realistically hanging the clock right now.
This is the
Um,
kind of thing you have to do. I mean, this is the thing about pub, right? You have to try something weird to get party luck. A good sniper is going to be on
Banana
it.
bread.
Contact to distract. There's the beeping. We're not shooting yet. We're shooting the wrong person. It's a different highlight. Oh my god. It worked.
yeah, I thought Hoffnung was absolutely a dead man walking in that situation, and I mean, yeah, that just goes to show you, like, even at the higher levels, sometimes just doing things is the way to go. Get to mission one
Banana bread.
countdown, make the spy or make the sniper prove that they're onto you. And I mean, that just seemed like the worst party for Hoffnung. The cast was just sitting in circles talking. No one was going to bud. Everyone was going to statues, and Hoffnung still found a way to get there. Very impressed by him to bring this back to 2-2.
Well, it's just like everyone thought in that doubled pub is a split 2-2. However, like no one thought, it is two spy wins after two sniper wins. Rather similar, kind of, to the first match we saw, except that was gallery and not pub and made a lot more sense. This makes very little sense, and yet here we are. The double, once again, is rendered meaningless, and we move on to a shortened match here with one person's double going for not. On to something a little more resembling SpyParty. In fact, it's the original SpyParty map, certainly in old art, and then the first one in new art as well. It's going to be Beanie spying as you know who on Ballroom in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Shoot him if you can find him.
Absolutely. I think this might be the first small man appearance of this cast. A little surprised on that. I know, especially the newer players just love to go crazy on small man, but took Beanie to finally be the brave one to go for it. And Ballroom, man, one of my absolute favorite venues. Immediately going in for the action test microfilm. Gotta love to see that. Like all
Uh,
alone over here on this side too.
it worked really well. The pillar was obscuring it a little bit. The fact that we're small was obscuring it a little bit. The ambassador's on the other side. Toby's moving around. It was very well timed. However, we are sort of probably locked in now towards finishing microfilm. There's a seduction. It's 34%. At this point, I don't see any reason to not just keep going, though, because we're barely visible.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, action tests, it's tough. Like that side bookshelf is really easy to do. You can just do it at the bookshelf a lot of the times. Just just the general things that are, or the cast, the pillars, everything will just block for you. Green bookshelf is a whole different story, though. I'm curious to see what
Yeah.
Beanie's going to do about that.
I mean, at that point, you really do have to time it well. And not only are there pillars, if you're small man, you can almost hide behind those thin window pane borders if you really needed to. You certainly only need one person between you and the sniper. We don't really have that person right now. It looks like we're just going to timer flirt here. I think we're pretty happy with that microfilm, so we're not going to rush things too much. Ballroom is one of the most mission-dense venues here. We're going to take a drink while we're waiting for that flirt timer, and there's also a fingerprint. It's a difficult. We do not hit it, however, but we do hit the green test right afterwards. So we're at 85% for the flirt. 2 minutes left and plenty of progress.
Yeah, and kind of the nice thing about ballroom is like no matter how slow I'm going, I always feel like I'm not behind. Like I always feel like there's something
Right.
to do. Like you can go for some really impromptu bugs, and they can just work if you just know the angles on ballroom. You can always just go center statues. You can always perla. I mean, there's just always options lining up for you.
Yeah,
And
and while it is
Beanie,
technically possible for the double agent not to be in conversation for an entire game, I do have replays where that has happened. It is extremely rare.
definitely rare. Like contact is almost just a given here. And yeah, Beanie just going
Yes.
right in saying, you know what, I'm just gonna finish up this microfilm nice and early. The downside is like the guests are not really going to bookcase. They're not really going to statues. We're like the only one that's really doing anything, but we do at least
Oh,
get green.
we do, and our arm is behind pillar. We timed it very well with all the party on the other side, and the
And
rotation
in
just
the
happened to
red.
line up, and there's a green contact right afterwards. And we are getting quite close. The problem is we really don't want to go to center statues of Smallman in the last minute, even if we think everything else is close. But we need one more. Purloin or Bug actually maybe feels safer than Inspecs here. I mean, you'd say we're not that suspicious, but we are Smallman, so we're inherently suspicious. But the Ambassador is going to statues here, so they might not give us an opportunity. So here's the question. Risk Inspect or risk Purloin? I don't know if we have a third option.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a tough one too because like in terms of like just general progress, like we're doing great. Like we got these 3 missions, we got these missions done cleanly. In terms of behavior, we're doing kind of terrible because we're going from one mission site to the ST,
Last chance of
back to a
Bug.
mission site, and we are
Green
going for the
Purloin.
purloin.
Oh, and we are zoomed in on Twin. The Purloin is not even seen. The Ambassador is between us. It's being offered elsewhere now. We're in really good shape. A Neutralite's going to take it, but it's hard to find the list on Ballroom unless we suss this out really quickly. I think this is going to be a win. There's going to be just a couple of seconds here. Yeah, there's just no way. Ballroom, it's too hard to find too quickly, and that's going to do it. We make the right choice with the Purloin, but that game comes all down to the timing of both microfilms and the timing of that Purloin.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, I love the way Beanie played that. Like the game or the cast rather wasn't giving him much to work with, and he still just made it happen. I mean, we did that first microfilm when we were like the lone person on the left side of the venue, got it done, got the green done at the bookcase, which is not something many players can do. But Beanie, trusting that green test, gets the green on both the action test microfilm and on the purloin, and ends up being a very clean spy game.
There were 3 action tests in that whole game that were important. The 2 microfilms and the Purloin, and they were all green. And interestingly enough, the one we didn't hit was that difficult fingerprint. If we had, we could have gone to side statue to finish Prince where the Ambassador left there at the end, which also would have won it for us. So, I think if we hit that action test, we're in better shape, certainly. A little less likely to get shot for side statue late in the game, but we find a way to make it work anyway, and that action test rate is the difference. And I tell you, you can't win on action tests alone, but boy, does it help sometimes, especially when you've got timing, like Beanie clearly did. They also have the lead, 3-2 now. It's going to be Hoffnung playing as a Seek on Ballroom, trying to even things up in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Boy, heck of a game. Yeah, a little bit of improvisation there, but ultimately just good timing, good ATs, and those will go a really long way.
Yeah, absolutely. As someone who really appreciates good spy games, I just love the way that Beanie played that. I'll probably be copying that, and it will go horribly when I try to do it, but still appreciate the game.
You got to go 3 for 3 on the big ATs, man. There was a talk very early on in the game's development about being able to sort of spend ATs. You could decide at what point in the game do I most need a green test, and I will use it then. Of course, it was replaced with the active reload mechanic, and there was discussion about all that. Although it did make for an interesting strategic choice. It takes away from mechanical skill, right, and puts it more in towards strategy instead. But I think the decision was made, obviously, to find that strategy with more missions and other options rather than remove that. Kind of wants that twitch element, that random element, which does make the game more exciting, even if it reduces the strategic import. But it's interesting to think about because in that game, it came to the same thing. If you had 3 green tests that game, that's when you would have used all 3 of them.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's honestly it's kind of fascinating. I never knew that that was like really being decided upon or being discussed at least. And yeah, it's interesting because I mean, right, we have this very strategic game where it's just kind of mixed in as this a bit of a reaction test sort of thing, and it'd be kind of interesting, like because some players like they're very good spies, but they just can't hit those screen tests, and that makes such a huge difference in this game. I wonder like
It
how
puts a
that would kind
cap.
of
Yeah, it puts a cap on their
exactly.
ability.
Like I wonder how that would kind of shape the competitive landscape. It's interesting to think about.
I will take back what I said a little bit, though. I think he might have spent one of them on that difficult fingerprint instead, and we would have gotten a very different ending, but probably the same outcome.
That's a good point. Is I think if you gave players the option to spend them, they might end up just spending them a little recklessly. It might actually nerf some of these really good players.
Yeah.
So
Well, what would probably happen is that I think, in particular, what you'd probably see is people would have to shoot for possible fingerprint more often because they'd have to credit difficult because people could just decide to spend one on difficult more often than not. So difficult fingerprints would probably just become a focal point. One of the reasons we're just kind of chatting here about general strategy is because not a whole lot is happening in this game. We just returned the briefcase without getting a fingerprint, just to give you an idea of how little is happening. There's about a minute left, and the only thing we're close to finishing is Seduce, and there it is. Speak of the devil, we are done. But that's all we're done with. And you got to imagine when you got 1 minute left here, if we're not going to time out right after putting this book away, I can't imagine it's going back in that shelf. One or the other.
yeah, like almost like at this point, I almost wonder if this is just kind of a strategic timeout
Yeah,
sort of
you're right. It
situation.
does feel like that. It does feel like that. But we've not picked the right game for it, I tell you.
Yeah, it's a little disappointed. Like
And
with
in the
the
red.
briefcase, like we were kind of in one of those positions where we can hide our bugging arm and tap Spotty. I thought that's what we're gonna do, but maybe Hoffnung didn't like that he was positioned right in front of the window pane, right in front of the sniper. But oh, when we were off to contact and purloin, immediately catching back up and straight into center
Oh boy.
statue. So fully intending to finish this game. Let's see
And
if
a
Beanie's
low
onto
light
it.
cast member takes the guest list. That's some bad luck. We are going to center statues with 20 seconds left. And if we see this purloin is gone and we don't have any good suspects, we might just have to shoot the person at center statues. Have we even noticed yet? I'm not sure. We think we have to now. 8 seconds left. Have we noticed there's someone at center statues? That's who you gotta shoot. You gotta do it, Beanie. And it ends up being the right shot. That is the downside to that mission density and the fact that you can rush it at the end. You do force them into a desperate position, and when they're in a desperate position, well, what do?
And the
Shoot the
end.
person at center statues.
Yeah, tough game. I think. Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of
Red.
those ones that just comes down to pacing a little bit. First 3 minutes, Hopdung only got the flirt progress, kind of forced himself into a late rush situation. And late rush can absolutely be good against certain types of snipers, but yeah, Beanie clearly had us in the flirt chain, saw us in, getting contact going into statues. I think ended up being a pretty clear shot once we went for that second statue cycle.
And that's a really big deal too, because that gives us a 4-2 lead. At this level of competitive skill, gold and above is a general rule probably, although I don't know if that's changed since my day in competitive at least. It's very hard to come back late. You get a lot more swings at the lower levels. It really comes down to momentum and venues and all that. But generally speaking, a 2-game lead here at this point in a gold or higher match is a big, big deal. And it's very possible here that you could just run away with this. So, Hoffnung, listen, I don't like using the phrase must win until it's literally at match point. But we're getting to that point for sure. A 5-2 lead would be almost insurmountable against an opponent of this quality. So Beanie is playing with house money right now, and they're playing as Taft in 3, 2, 1, playing it. And this is where you might see that kind of high risk, kind of all or nothing coin flip kind of maneuver, like an early bug or an early green purloin. We get an aggressive flirt instead to start. This is the kind of thing you can do when you're ahead and you say, listen, it's 50-50. I'll flip coins with you now because if we go 50-50 the rest of the way, I'm going to win anyway.
Yeah, absolutely, and I agree. I think in these matches, like momentum can be everything, and Hoffnung really just needs to swing the momentum back into his own favor. Like Beanie will absolutely run away with it if you let him, and he's absolutely trying to do so. Already on that second flirt already, just almost disrespectfully just rushing these flirts. Unfortunately, doesn't hit the double green, so we'll finally have to put on the brakes a little bit.
It's very disrespectful. It's like, get to know her a little bit for crying out loud. What are you trying to do?
Absolutely.
85% already. And yeah, this is kind of the half measure though. This is not the aggressive purloin that I mentioned or the crash bug or anything like that or a quick swap. This is aggressive flirting early on. So it's kind of having it both ways and like an aggressive fingerprint, right? We're being aggressive, but it's still about soft tells. We're forcing the sniper into uncomfortable shots. If you force them to shoot for things like fingerprints, they might get it right. But if they get it wrong even once, they're in big, big trouble. This is how you press your advantage when you're in the lead at a higher level.
Oh, could not agree more. I like as a spy, I love putting the sniper in those uncomfortable situations where it could be me, could not be me. Like they have
Yeah.
to make it, just make a tough decision, especially when they might already be a little flustered by being behind a little bit. So love that from Beanie. Um, Finishing up the flirt here, rejecting the drink, and yeah, going for just a fairly sneaky spy game. No real
Contact here,
suspicion on us
maybe?
whatsoever.
I think we want to wait for green dress to get out of. You don't want to knock out that center statue visitor. You want to give him a second here to get the contact done if you can, but you're going to trade off some other people. But I think as soon as they enter, are they going to? They are not. I think maybe you just need to take this now. There is a fingerprint on that far left of the center statues there. There's the contact. It's a green. It's not what we wanted to do, but it's good enough. We can go finish fingerprint on that far left statue without conspicuously finishing inspects too. Behind the back bug, no, we're going to think better of it and probably better to force them into that kind of difficult shot that I mentioned. So maybe fingerprinted statue to statue, something like that with a minute left. Are we going to bug instead? We are going to bug. Big old arm right through the ambassador. It does take. Are we going to get shot when we settle? No. And now we can fingerprint for the win, and there's going to be a briefcase, a book, and a statue with a fingerprint on them.
Yeah, that was a bold play from Beanie.
Take your choice. Which kind of fingerprint do you want? 3 of the 4 types of fingerprints are going to be available.
Yeah, I mean, Beanie just the fact that we survived that bug. I mean, we're just smooth sailing now. Assuming that Hoffnung didn't see it.
Oh wow, we're going for the most obvious, which is the briefcase itself. In a way, that's going to do it. Are we going to get shot here? If we're not all over fingerprints, this is going to do it, and Beanie's going to take an even bigger lead. There's no indication a shot is coming. We do indeed force them into the difficult shot. There's an aggressive bug, but other than that, it's soft tells. And wow, 5-2.
Yeah, and I almost want to see that bug again because it looked like we shoved our hand all the way through the ambassador's body. Like it didn't. Yeah, we did. Like it actually went all the way through the model of Tex. It was on the screen of Hoffnung. Just he was distracted by something else. Like for
It's the
whatever
wrong
reason.
angle. It's the wrong angle. If he's looking at it from the side view, it's incredibly obvious, but he's looking at it dead on. And not just that, you can see there's some zooming in and out just before and afterwards. And sometimes this is easy to forget when you're watching a replay rather than playing it. You might say, well, they're zoomed at the right time. It's visible. But when you zoom in or out, there is a readjustment of your vision every time. A half a second, right? A half a second at most. But you kind of have to get your bearings all over again. If something happens just as you're zooming out or zooming in, even if it's visible, you won't catch it most of the time.
Yeah, I mean, just the fact that Bean even went for that. I mean, that just tells me he's just really feeling himself right now. He's like, you know what? I'm just going for it. I'm doing things. I'm clicking buttons, going for missions. Good luck stopping me. And yeah, the momentum is absolutely in his favor right now.
Good luck with my prodigious button pushing abilities. What could you possibly do? Push your own buttons? Ha ha ha. I don't know. He's going to have to, though. Hoffnung's going to have to push some buttons right now. They're going to pick Salmon as their fighter to try to save their match here on Ballroom in 3, 2, 1. Playing it. This is that momentum you were talking about. It was a very tight match early on. A little bit of craziness on Pub with 2 spy wins after 2 sniper wins, but it's been all Beanie since.
Yeah, I mean, really, I have to say I'm impressed by Beanie. I know historically Beanie's like one of the really good players, but Hoffnung is a more recent good players, and usually those are the ones who beat up on the older generations.
It's true.
So
It's true. That's why I'm not coming back anytime soon. You're right.
yeah,
We used to talk about this all the time. Highly skilled player who's a little rusty versus up and coming players playing all the time. I'm usually going to take the latter.
yeah, exactly. So I'm just kind of impressed that Beanie doesn't seem to have rusted too much. Like still got it, so to speak. Love to see that. Yeah, Hoffnung's still a dangerous opponent. I mean, he can absolutely get back into this. And starting off, a little bit of flirt, a little bit of side statues. Pretty standard, non-conspicuous ballroom start for Hoffnung.
Classic, flexible progress early in the game, non-committal, not going to pick up the dangerous center statue kind of highlight, not going to be a big suspect, give myself a lot of ways to finish, see what the party gives me. It's a classic for a reason. It's flexible, it's adaptable. We are going to be a little aggressive with the flirt, but you love this too. Flirt, go do a little mission progress, and then flirt again right afterwards. In a ballroom, you can usually do that. They're not usually able to hide from you too easily. It's a green test too, so it's not going to get us there in 2, but we're going to try to bug just as we walk away, and Beanie zooms in, but just a little too late for it. So I think we're suspicious, but I don't think we saw it clearly.
As soon as I saw our position relative to the ambassador, like my brain was screaming bug.
Yep.
Hoffnung thought the same way, even went for the wrong arm bug, making it that much better. I think we just got away with a clean bug here,
And a
and
difficult print. Here's the only thing that gives me pause about that bug in particular. We stop talked in order to do it. They were probably screaming the same thing in their brain that you were in yours, which is, I have to get out of this. But the stop talk was very noticeable, and I think it might have tipped Beanie off to start to look at it just as it happened. Even if they don't see it, I wonder if they would have been a half second even later if not for the stop talk drawing attention, especially as a tall character. It was a very visible stop talk. Regardless, the bug is done. The seduce has just been finished now, and we could inspect fingerprint for the win, but you wonder if we're a suspect. We very well may be.
yeah, I think I mean, to some degree we are, but the thing is our ST just joined us at a bookcase, like at a very harmless bookcase where we did a very innocent book take.
Yeah.
If I'm Beanie,
Oh, I don't know.
I'm not super worried about Salmon right now, but let's see
It's just
how.
going to come down to that bug. Like, maybe they're more on that bug than we thought. And we're about to find out, because if they were on that bug, they have to think about shooting pretty soon, I think. 40 seconds left. We're not done yet, though, and I think, but we could be, right? Unless they have total control. Maybe they're not crediting the fingerprint. Oh, 30 seconds left. What's it going to be here? Are we going to contact? Contact could be the cue. Fingerprint could be the cue. Double agent, though, is not in conversation. Could this be what ruins it? Are we going to have to Purloin instead? And will that offer Beanie a way out of a game they might be positioned to lose? We're just going to take a drink instead. 15 seconds, Double Agent has joined. We're going to join with them, but we're going to be doing this late, and there might be a couple of seconds of overtime. This could give Beanie a chance. Late movement from a highlight, plus a contact. 7 seconds left. Are we going to take this shot? No indication that we're going to. We do not, and Hoffnung answers with a virtuoso spy game.
Yeah, that was super clean spy game. I was very worried that we were coming into that conversation as a highlight, like last person in, a conversation with a DA. Going for the contact always looks super suspicious. I think the reason we got away or the reason we got away with it is we hit the all important green test, and
Yeah.
yeah, I think just the bug was clean. Never really just gave Beanie a good reason to shoot, and yeah, love that spy game from Hoffnung.
I think Yep just came in a little late on catching the bug. They have to suspect it. They can soft credit it, as you say, but soft crediting a bug, you don't want to be shooting for that on Ballroom if you can help it. How often, by the way, do you see a relatively early difficult fingerprint take on Ballroom without the mission being completed? Very interesting that we decide to go back to statues and risk that highlight and shot rather than try to force that fingerprint. But you got to say it ends up being the right choice, and Hoffnung arrests the development there, stops the bleeding, holds it to 5-3. You're still not in a good spot, but at least you're not absolutely devastated. But you've got to keep it going. You got to flip the momentum the other way, and Gallery might be the place to do it. Beanie going to be spying first, playing as Teal in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Boy, Gallery can really shake things up, and if you're Hoffnung, if you're down, that's kind of the thing you want. It's an early white test from Beanie. This could certainly help. Are
Oh,
any
I
lowlights
love it.
coming off?
I love these situations because
We've gulped.
yeah, we go for the gold.
Oh
I
no,
love.
we've just zoomed in on the list, and we low-lit the taker, and we do not look confident. We took one low light of someone, Queen, who we were pretty confident was out front the whole time. No other reactions. This means one of two things. Either we're all over it, or we really missed it, and these like tentative, small number of low lights strongly suggest that Beanie has gotten away with this.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've been in this situation far too many times as a sniper where you just have no clue. You don't know. Like you have one person you might suspect, but you just have no clue, and it's a horrible position to be in. And I love doing this as a spy. When I get instantly offered after taking control, I always go for the purloin and just hope that it's going to be a green. It's so difficult for the sniper to catch this on a big menu like Gallery, where there's so much to look at.
Well, in this case, it was a white, and they still didn't catch it. And all they traded, I think, was 2, maybe 3 lowlights, and they feel extremely tentative. But here's the thing: if you're Hoffnung, you know this, and you have to react accordingly. You cannot play a normal sniper gallery game now. You have to winnow it down. You have to pay a lot of attention to who has a real contact. Case in point, we've just earned with the double agent, so let's pay attention to that. Who's done with inspects, and you have to take aggressive lowlights, which I've seen them do since. There's the contact. That's going to offer you several more lowlights. You need to get pretty much all of them. Ooh, we're going to take some really aggressive ones there with Wheels, who was in contact with conversation rather with an SDA, but this is what you have to do. You cannot just take hard lowlights anymore. You have to get this party narrowed down, because if you don't, you're going to lose anyway.
Yeah, and I mean, this is kind of the funny thing is usually when you see a super early contact like this, especially when it's like not a particularly good contact, it's kind of the spy's way of telling you like I'm already ahead, and like I'm getting this extra mission. Good luck. Like usually it's when they get away with something clean, like a bug. But even like with a purloin where the sniper knows it's happened, I mean, why not? Just get that credit and and just keep pushing forward.
Oh, and the seduction target joins us on a painting pad, and we hit the green. We're at 72%. A close white will get that done, and we have 100 seconds left to do it. This is why you have to take those aggressive low lights. If you're Beanie, really the only question is, knowing my opponent is smart enough to know they're going to have to be aggressive, how can I deny them the easy inspect shot?
Yeah, and that's the tough part. Is like you're in a position where, yeah, I mean, it feels like you should just always be winning this game. And okay, I guess we
And
are.
that's what it was. And it's not even a bad shot because at that point you're just thinking anyone. And I remember there was a reaction. She got a early statue highlight after the purloin, and it was clearly a well. Not only are you at statues, but that's the kind of thing you would do after an early purloin is run to statues. It's a classic spy move. So I think she was already the higher suspect of the people remaining. But you know you're going to have to take that kind of shot. You know you're going to have
Yeah,
to. And it's not just that. That is the other statue set. So this is someone completing inspects. And I think Hoffnung maybe made the decision if I haven't low let them, first person to complete inspects is getting a bullet.
yeah, this is a very reasonable shot because one, she was in that first conversation where the list was taken. She went
Yeah.
to statues twice. She was in for the contact. You have to take the shot as a sniper. I mean, you have no choice. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And
not
Beanie
much to
does the
say
right
on that.
thing. Beanie does the right thing by not going to statues. I think at that point, if you're Beanie, you're really just hoping that any of the remaining suspects do that.
Absolutely, 100%. I mean, that is the absolute dream on the spy side.
Yeah, it is tricky though because you're probably actually not thinking about finishing there. Inspects is how you give the sniper the way out, and we refuse to do it. And now there's no way out for Hoffnung other than to win out entirely, and they have to do it starting a spy on gallery. They are down 6-3 now to Beanie, and that's not the position you want to be in. They did come back with that really strong spy win when they needed it on ballroom, but unfortunately gave it right back on sniper, and now they're forced to win again as spy playing as Bling Twin in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Bling Twin, who I cosplayed at PAX West in 2019, actually. I don't do a lot of cosplay, but that one seemed relatively easy enough. I had a blue jacket already, so.
Did you have a plane twin to go along with you?
I did not. I did not talk anyone into it. And I decided to be Bling if only because there were more things I could wear that way, more ways to cosplay as opposed to just the outfit. And I figured, no, this will allow me to actually buy a tie clip and a little magnetic earring and everything. Yes, I wussed out. I didn't get a real earring, but it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. There are pictures out there somewhere on the blog if you go looking for them.
All right, already off to a nice start with the green flirt for 50%, but ST bailing, not letting us timer flirt. And yeah, I fully support your decision to go for Bling Twin. I think, if you had cosplayed as Plain Twin, I might have some additional questions, but I think you made the right decision on that.
I think what I should have done is cosplayed as Bling Twin, but when people weren't looking, take all the little jewelry off, including the ring, and then suddenly I'm Plain Twin. And no, 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 what are you talking about? I was Plain Twin the whole time. Just mess with people. The psychological warfare continues even offline when you play SpyParty, for sure.
Absolutely, and I mean, yeah, I mean, who of us haven't confused the twins in game before? So would it would
Also,
it
you want to know
would
how
it be
old
the
I am
first time?
too? I'm literally the person who first called them Plain and Bling Twin, for that matter, and it stuck because, of course, it did. It's objectively hilarious.
Oh, absolutely. I love that I'm getting to watch this game and also kind of brushing up on my Spy Party lore at
A
the same
history
time.
lesson, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you wanna get SpyParty lore. There's a lot of it out there. Just talk to one of the old guards. We've got more of it than we know what to do with. Certainly. Just an old man telling his stories on the front porch. We are up to 93% on this Seduce. It's kind of the classic gallery thing of we know Seduce is going to be a pain in the butt, so we're going to try to get it done early, but we're also not getting it done that early.
Yeah, so
Early in terms of first, not early in terms of the clock.
yeah, so I was gonna say at the very least, Ambassador leaving some prints around the venue. Unfortunately, our partner twin is smudging one of those for us. Um, the nice thing about picking twin though is sometimes the sniper likes to highlight one and leave the other one as a
Yes,
neutral,
that's
so we
right.
might be able to continue the rest of this game as a neutral lane, even if we go in for this difficult print. Let's see what Hoffnung decides to do now that he has his seduce completed.
Beanie has also done the correct thing if you're going to highlight just one twin and highlighted the one who doesn't have all the jewelry, because obviously the one with all the jewelry is slightly easier to see. So let's say very marginal advantage.
Absolutely, and we have a briefcase. I assume this is still printable. Taft gonna try to fight us for it. Loses that battle, and we do hit the green test. So,
Oh wow.
oh, actually finishing up print. I didn't. I guess I did not notice that Hoffnung already had another print in hand.
I think it might have been a drink right around the time you were talking about the possibility, as a matter of fact. So well timed there for both spying and casting purposes. 2 missions done. Only a minute left, though. I think we either time out immediately or we have to rush something here. We're going to bug. It's so suspicious, though. We are so suspicious bugging there. It's not visible, but that's why it's suspicious. And you got to imagine now a contact might prompt a shot. Beanie has to credit that.
He does, and I think we're also in a position where I mean, it just it would be crazy not to try to finish with contact. I think if you're Hoffdog, you're probably just hoping for another green test where we don't get shot again. Uh, I would hate to have all this progress and have to finish with something like a purloin or a transfer,
Yeah, but
but
take it from me, this can happen. When in the SCL6 finals, I got the best bug of my life off. Oh, there's a white purloin, and that's going to make it much easier for Beanie to clinch this game and this match. We are dancing a little bit, but it's not going to work so well. We have locked onto that hair, and with 6 seconds left, we shoot the spy and win the match. Beanie takes it 7-3.
yeah, and that's just kind of the downfall of Gallery there, where sometimes your DA just won't get in conversation. You have an otherwise great game, Cass is not playing nice, and you are forced to improvise. Didn't work out for him. Um, all in all, though, still really nice spy game. Really nice games overall from both of these players. But Beanie looking super impressive in what I think is his first game in a very long time. So yeah, really impressed by Beanie, showing that he has still absolutely got it.
Absolutely. As we like to say on so many of these casts, and it's not just because we're a small, close knit community and we like to be nice to one another, it's because it's actually true. When you actually watch the games, it always feels a lot closer than these scores would indicate. If you're just perusing that results channel in the Discord, you might think, okay, looks like a pretty easy win. But then when you go actually watch and you see how many of these games turned on so little, and you realize how easily it could have gone the other way. And that was certainly the case with both matches today.
Yeah, I mean that is really the beautiful thing about Spy Party is I mean it can just go so many different ways depending on how the games are, how the cast is, just what I mean, just so many different factors can swing games one way or the other. So gotta love it, and yeah, absolutely enjoyed watching all these players play today. Enjoyed casting with you, Warning Track, and yeah, good luck to all the players in their next matches.
I enjoyed casting with you as well. Wonderful job. A lot of fun, great matches, and thank you to the players for their insights and skill. I will do a little housekeeping for Nebula, as a matter of fact, here and point out that there are, I think, 2 casts tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern. We've got Wrestler hosting and Toboshi and Slappy going with a copper and I think silver match, respectively. And then 3 hours later, I guess just on the heels of that one, our host here, Nebula, is going to be hosting and casting with Rav with I think that's silver and diamond. Oh boy. Uh, Nebula, I think I have that right. Is there anything else you want to say before wrapping up here? All right, Nebula says nope, and that's all I need to hear. Thank you all for watching so much. This has been a Spy Party Competitive League Season 8 cast. Yes, it's still going. It's Season 8. You can buy this game at SpyParty.com. You can find the Discord on that self-same website, and you should join it. It's a lovely Discord with lovely people and a lot of information about these casts. 2 more casts tomorrow. You're going to want to check out both of those. Thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful day.